I don't really care about Lee. I'm not gonna lie.
Then why? Okay, the guy should die. Yeah, I agree. I actually agree with that.
I don't
If you think that the guy should die,
I think Killer B should die.
Why Killer B? Why is he so random? No one cares about that guy.
I'm down for Killer B dying.
What?
Killer B's my
Why?
favorite
He's so
character introduced
random.
in part
He
2.
served his role as
Okay,
How
Naruto's
is he your
mentor.
favorite character in part 2? He's such
Naruto
a
learned
dead
everything
character,
you need to
bro.
do. You need the 10 tails.
He
doesn't
That's
rap.
right.
Well, if you think he's a random
Whisper.
character, don't you think he should die?
He thinks
in
he's
the
Drake,
war?
bro. He thinks he's Drake or Kendrick, bro. He's not that guy. Let's be
Ew.
honest.
Don't compare me to that fucking light skinned demon ever again, bro.
He already did
Kendrick
his
Lamar
fake out
said-
once against
Star
Sasuke.
Constellation.
You could have it be a character trait as he does it against Madara or Momoshiki, but you don't really need that. It's cool for the movie, but
B is that Naruto having the last name of the last Jinchuriki is like it goes hard. That's it.
It doesn't go hard because his mother. That's how it can go hard knowing that you know it's his mother. That doesn't really go cold. That's just like explanation.
Wait, what about his mom? What does that matter?
Yeah, you said it goes cold or hard, whatever terminology meaning it's cool. I
don't understand what you're saying, bro.
Okay,
I don't
you said it's hard, meaning it's cold, cool. That Naruto has the name of the previous Jinchuriki, correct? Last name. Okay.
I said the last Jinchuriki. Like
Yes, the last Jinchuriki being
supposed to be-
Kushina.
It's
He's
supposed
talking
to
about
be-
Naruto being. He means Naruto being the only Jinchuriki alive at the end of the
Yes,
series.
thank you.
Killer
But
B.
what
permanently
name?
dead.
What name? Name.
It's
Huh?
it's more of like a title.
Yes.
What's
it's
the
supposed
title?
to
What's
be-
the title?
The title is him being the last Jinchuriki because
That's not a title.
all the other Jinchuriki are dead.
Okay. So I get what you're saying, Draco, but what does that have to do with the last name?
That's my point.
Yeah, I'm trying to explain that. Okay, so it's
No,
supposed
but-
to be a parallel to Sasuke being the last Uchiha. And
No, that
The
wouldn't make
peaceful-
any sense. Naruto and Sasuke are just different people. They're not supposed to connect like that. Naruto
Well, he's not the
and
last
Sasuke doesn't.
Uzumaki because Karin's still alive.
Yeah, that's
Well, no, I didn't say
Naruto can't be. No. Naruto cannot be the last
Even
person
then-
because
even
Naruto
then,
and
his
Sasuke
hold
are
on.
just different people.
Didn't
Everyone, calm down.
They're just different
Okay,
people. You
can
can't
I
do that to
explain
Naruto.
myself? Can I
I
explain?
think
Go ahead.
Can I explain my
Go ahead.
point?
Go ahead,
Okay,
Jordan.
so just to be clear, I didn't bring up the Uzumaki point because the Uzumaki part of Naruto doesn't really have like much
I
of an
thought you
effect
meant that, but
in his life in comparison to him being a Jinchuriki. So that's why I said he could be a parallel to
you know
Sasuke.
that fundamentally. No, he doesn't. He can't be a parallel to Sasuke because Naruto and Sasuke are so different yet so
Why are you
similar.
talking over me?
They're different. You can't say that because Sasuke is an Uchiha, meaning he has and last Uchiha, and he has no friends, right? And
Well,
Naruto has friends,
okay.
and he's the last Jinchuriki. It has to say the same.
Sasuke-
Naruto just being the last Jinchuriki doesn't make sense. It's no
Yeah.
homage to Sasuke. It's not an homage to Sasuke. Naruto's not okay. Go ahead.
The thing is, Sasuke isn't the last Uchiha, though. They just call him that, but he's not.
Yeah, it's a good title for him because of his loneliness. Naruto doesn't deserve that title. It just doesn't go with him. Naruto has friends, so he isn't. Him being the last of something doesn't
Well,
resonate with his
the
character.
whole point of
Does
the
Sasuke.
final Valley fight is that they have a connection, that they're still friends.
Yeah, a connection. No, that connection. But
So him having
Naruto being the last. Go ahead.
in Turkey could be like another form of like
No, he doesn't.
establishing their connection because they have another thing to
doesn't.
bond. They're the
He
last.
doesn't. They have already a lot of things to bond over. Why do you need to add another thing? And it doesn't even make them bond more.
I don't know because
I
like
thought, oh yeah, you're the last Jinchuriki in this war. A second ago, you became the last Jinchuriki. Now you can bond over something. That it takes time to bond over stuff. It doesn't happen that quickly, so that can't work.
what? I
I
don't
would
know how to
argue
respond
Sasuke
to that,
was the
'cause, like
last
here's the
Uchiha.
thing. Here's the thing.
I
Sorry,
clearly
what
proved
you
my
say?
point.
I would argue Sasuke was the last Uchiha because it's about the clan, not about the living members. And so Obito and Madara was the ghost of the Uchiha. He physically left the clan. Same with Itachi. He killed the clan, all except for Sasuke. Well, how does that make sense if Itachi's part of the Uchiha clan? The point is he left the clan. Same with Obito, just like Madara, he left the clan. Sasuke was the only one there who never gave up on or abandoned the clan. He continued the honor of the clan's name, which is why he wanted to restore the Uchiha clan, who Itachi dishonored by killing the entire clan.
I don't know. Even then, in like the war arc, I'm pretty sure Madara was like talking how proudly he was as an
Prove it.
Uchiha. He just didn't give a
Prove
fuck
it.
about like the other members Because like,
Yeah, no, he's not proud of being an Uchiha. He's just proud of himself.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what he never says that. I don't remember him saying
I will
that.
point out, Sasuke did fail at reviving his clan.
The line saying, "Hey, we both share like Uchiha blood. You should join me or whatever." To Sasuke, implying that
Yeah,
like,
but that doesn't mean he's proud of it. It just means like, oh, you
That's
kind of
also
like
him
me, so maybe you
gaslighting
even like
Sasuke to
me.
just stop fighting.
Yeah,
though,
it's
so.
manipulation as well. He's gonna get rid of Sasuke instantly after. It's manipulation. It's not really. It's just fake pride.
It's not. I know he's not like. Okay, so
Fake pride.
okay, huh?
Go ahead, I said. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Okay, so just to be clear, I know he didn't. Okay, so I'm aware of the actions he did afterwards, but I assume that it was just like a means to an end. He doesn't see like actual kinship with Sasuke, right?
Yeah, he
So
doesn't see kinship in general. He doesn't see it in
yeah,
general with
I know.
anyone.
So I don't interpret that
I
as
mean,
like
he doesn't
him
have
not
pride.
I don't interpret that him like not like having pride in like being an Uchiha. I just don't think he cares about other Uchiha.
Okay. If you're part of a clan, you'd have the pride of the entire clan and its members in you. Because I'm proud that I'm a Uchiha. Sasuke, you should be proud of being an Uchiha. I don't recall Madara ever saying, "I'm proud to be an Uchiha" in the series, and he never says, "Sasuke, be proud of being an Uchiha, and let's be partners in crime or because they're doing crime and illegal stuff."
I
The
would
point really
say
is, he never says that.
something important here is that
yeah.
Sasuke is always proud to be an Uchiha, regardless of Madara. But what the Uchiha is over the course of the series, the interpretation of that changes. At the beginning of the series, Sasuke thinks the Uchiha is a member, like a clan of Konoha. But especially as the series goes on, it shifts away from that, especially 5 Kage Samurai, I'd say it's at its lowest point. Sasuke, as a proud member, the only member of the Uchiha clan, so the clan follows Sasuke since he's the only member. It's directly against the village, which is how it technically was during the massacre, but Sasuke didn't know that at the time.
Oh yeah, sorry. I keep like pivoting to like another argument. Oodie, I don't know if you answered this or not because it's like
Yeah, no, I was just
a lot of
responding to
screaming
Mr.
stuff.
Spiraling's nonsense. I agree with you, Draco. I think that Naruto should have been the last Jinchuriki for similar reasons that you're saying. But I would also add on
Okay.
that Hanga wanting Naruto to essentially be that is what it feels like. That's sort of what they're going for, and that Naruto is this very important figure in all of Shinobi history. Feels like Killer Bee doesn't really need to take that away from Naruto in a sense.
Well,
So I'm gonna give
really...
one argument I like for Bee surviving that is completely nonsense, but I'm just gonna say it because of the honesty of it, but it doesn't take away the narrative aspect. So the one aspect of Bee surviving I do like is that he always survives via the exact same substitution trick, and that is kind of funny. I do smile because of that. But other than that, he should have just died when Madara ripped out the 8 tails.
Something I'll add though, Kamui, is regardless of if Killer Bee survives or not, Gyuki decides to go back into Bee. And that is a heartfelt moment that I don't want to take away from, but at the same time, it takes away from Naruto being the only one to be a Jinchuriki.
Yeah, it is a funny... So, Kamui, what you brought up, I think is I guess, like a humorous thing, but like, I think like, at least in terms of his character, he doesn't really do anything in Boruto. Like, he got beat up by the Otsutsuki.
What do you mean he doesn't really do anything? He just doesn't do anything.
Well, because
he literally just was like relevant because he got beat up by Boruto's Otsutsuki, and then he does like nothing after that point.
It's
so
not even that
like,
he's relevant. It's that the 8 tails was relevant.
Here's my compromise.
Yeah, pretty much. So it's like outside of like those things, I think it's he doesn't really do anything. So I don't really see a point of him like being in Boruto.
We know ever since the villages were first founded, the tailed beasts have been used as weapons stored inside of Jinchuriki. For hundreds of years, they've been practically enslaved, and for the first time ever, they have their choice of freedom. If the 8 tails wants to live inside of Killer Bee, instead of choosing to go back to its roots of living in nature, unlike the other tailed beasts, then I think Shukaku should have done the exact same thing for Gaara, who's the only other
Yeah, that's what I was
going
to say. If they did that with Gaara too, but then you start to say, now it's starting to take away the sweetness of Killer Bee and 8 tails, which of all the ones, that's the one that makes the most sense.
Yeah.
But...
in which case, I would say do both or neither, and I think neither is stronger.
Wait, let Draco talk. Let Draco talk. Go ahead, Draco.
Yeah, wasn't it only roughly like 80 years they were imprisoned? other than Shikaku, who was regularly imprisoned by the people of the sand
Well, there you
because
go.
they weren't a village.
I believe the
Draco, you're gonna
villages
say one
have
more thing.
existed for at least 60 years.
Drago, you gonna say one more thing?
I wasn't gonna say anything. I wasn't saying anything.
I mean,
Oh,
okay,
I
that's
thought you
fine.
said-
They've been enslaved for decades. The whole point is they've been treated like tools and trash, and the hatred has built greatly over time. You see that most prevalently with Kurama, but that applies to all the Tailed Beast. Especially coming out of Hagoromo telling the Tailed Beast about humans, how they should feel about them, and for them to essentially be almost betrayed in a way, or at least they trusted Hagoromo and then it just didn't work out, and then they started seeing that again in Naruto. Who, mind you,
Anyway,
For the eight tails of the bee as well.
who, mind you, Naruto just is the meeting spot anyways and has vestiges of all the other tailed beasts. In a way, you could just argue Naruto should have just been the 10-tailed Jinchuriki at the end of the series, but I'm not going to go that far necessarily, though you totally could do that.
Why do
They're
you
gonna
think
give
so? Why
Sasuke
do
the
you think
running
that-
on anyway.
why do you think that so? I want to know your reasonings, Edward. Why so?
If
should
Naruto is
Naruto
going to
put
be
his
the
tail?
next Hagoromo, who was the 10-tailed Jinchuriki, and the meeting spot for all the tailed beasts, and Naruto's the meeting spot for all the tailed beasts, why not have Naruto, who the tailed beasts already see as the next Hagoromo, why not have the tailed beasts live inside of Naruto instead of out in the wild in nature?
Well,
I mean,
Naruto
he technically already has some of their chakra in his body, right?
Yeah, he
So
has. No, he has. But
technically,
Naruto doesn't. If you listen to the way Kurama and Tail Beast talk about Naruto, is as if he's a reminiscing plot. He's like it's something that reminds him of Hagoromo, but isn't necessarily like Hagoromo because you have to remember Naruto is his own unique person. So I think it's fine if he's not. I don't think it's something that like it would be amazing if it happened if Naruto became the 10 Tails.
Well, that's why I'm
Jinchuriki.
saying the next Hagoromo to make it distinct as his own person, as opposed
Yeah,
to
but that's still Hagoromo.
Hagoromo.
That's still Hagoromo. at the end of the day.
I
That's the
disagree.
Hagoromo at the end
Naruto's
of
the
the day.
next Hokage. Naruto's not Tobirama.
No, but like,
Well, honestly,
no, but if you're there's only would have been one Hagoromo. There has been multiple Hokages, so that's a bit different.
Okay, well now there's
Well,
multiple
technically,
Hagoromos.
there's been multiple new Sage of Six Paths. There's
Yeah.
Obito, Madara. If you really want to count
Yeah,
it,
but there's only been
Kabuto, because
one
he says it.
Hagoromo. There's not been ever another Hagoromo. So that means that Naruto can't be Hagoromo.
He
Well,
is
honestly,
the next
I
Sage of
just
Six
wanted to
Paths.
have Naruto be the last Jinchuriki, so like there's another, I guess, connection to Sasuke because they're like the last of like the main things that people identify them as.
And I agree.
essentially.
Because
The only concern with that though is the moment Sasuke has a kid, he's not the last Uchiha, and if Naruto has a kid, he just still is the last Jinchuriki. So,
Well, I mean, technically, his kid is the next Jinchuriki, so you know.
Which is dumb as hell.
yeah, but
I
not
would say-
because of anything other than the fact that Kurama did Baryon mode.
I think that's fine because the whole point is it's at the end of Naruto and Naruto is telling its own complete story, even if it's a continuation in Boruto.
Yeah.
So like those characters
Anyway,
had their happy ending for that time. That doesn't
Anyway,
get retconned just because it changes in the future.
Speaking of both, I suppose we should go back on topic because it's mostly me.
Oh yeah,
and,
my bad. I didn't mean it to make it derail the conversation that
What?
much. I genuinely just wanted to ask a question.
Yeah, one more
No,
thing
it's
I
good
wanted to
questions.
add
I like
is in Naruto and Sasuke's final fight, Naruto and Sasuke are very
Right.
different yet similar from one another, and they understand each other through those similarities and can look past the differences in one another in order again to understand each other and to compromise in the end. But those differences also lead to the conflict before the compromise. And so I think this would work as both a parallel and a contrast because Last Uchiha and Last Jinchuriki are not the same thing, but being the last of something is the same thing.
that, and basically the entire series is basically the strongest powers have been those from the Uchiha clan
Yeah.
and those from the Jinchuriki.
Especially coming out of the previous arc, which basically promised this, as Naruto tells Sasuke at the end of the Five Kage Summit arc, if you and I die, I won't be a Jinchuriki anymore, and you won't be an Uchiha, and so those burdens will be put to rest, and we could just be friends in the afterlife. Well, you might as well continue that.